Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ty, and I'm back again for the first few days of summer. Yeah. All right. I'd like to first of all start with thank you guys for communicating with me, putting your thoughts and feelings into the comments, and those thoughts and feelings are positive. It's amazing, guys. You guys like probably you Bird and just basketball fans are just the main positive positive folks here. I mean, you got I do like other videos on other things, and believe me, guys, when it comes to you guys are great. You guys are amazing, and I'd like to thank you guys for helping me grow my channel, and also just just being you guys, just being positive, being great. Um, I've been going through the comments and all the videos and suggestions that you guys have told me. I definitely am going through it and I'm learning from you guys. And I'm definitely going to do those videos that you guys asked me for. And I'd like to thank you guys and just more importantly, just subscribe. It helped me grow my channel. Okay. So if you like just watch my videos and just forget to subscribe, just subscribe and it'll tell you guys when the next video is coming out. All right, so now I'm going to do Larry Bird tried to put Charles Barkley in his place, which he did. He absolutely did, guys. If you know Larry Bird, like I'm learning Larry Bird from you guys, he put Charles Barkley in his place. All right, so here we go. Let's get into it.
From crazy egos on that legendary Dream Team of '92 to reaching the conclusion that this was Michael Jordan's era. Here's how Larry Bird put Charles Barkley in his place,
Place
only then to get put down by the one and only Michael
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan,
That Dream
MJ.
Team of 1992 was truly something, wasn't it? And it was only fair that there
I heard
were
it
a
was.
lot of egos, because in Chuck's own words, you gotta have an ego to be great. And there really was no shortage of it on the Dream Team. It's not really that surprising, is it? The greatest league in the world deciding not to take the 1992 Olympics as a joke and sending in a team assembled of
Yeah,
only the greatest players to ever play the sport.
they
That
did.
12-man roster was headlined by Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird.
Hmm.
So, of course, it was
Great.
going to have a lot of clashes of egos because the room was just too small for all of them.
Yes.
Everyone had a point to prove, and there were only five places up for grabs.
Right.
Actually, four, considering Michael Jordan wasn't sitting. I mean, duh. But for every other spot on the starting five, there were all time greats vying for a place on the team. As an NBA fan, it's hard to imagine if there's any other time or place I'd rather be.
Wow.
Oh, to be a fly on that wall.
Hmm.
Fortunately, rehearing some of those stories and accounts from people and stars present there does wonders. So let's take a look at what Ahmad Rashad, a commentator, had to say.
All right, guys. Before it continues, I got this video from Sports Essentials. So if you want to watch the video straight through without me talking, just go to that channel to the Sports Essentials. Okay, tell them that Ty sent you.
The story starts with a normal conversation on a pool table. Well, it's hardly a normal conversation if it's between his airness and Magic himself, huh? But these two blokes started talking about all things basketball. You know, the sport that made them so great. Now, as a rule of thumb, it's totally understandable for professional athletes to have as much confidence in their
Mm,
abilities as possible. It's just what gets them going, you know?
right.
But that doesn't go down well when you've got a room full of some of the biggest names to ever exist. Now,
It's
Ahmad
true.
Rashad recalls sitting there and being privy to what was happening with the Dream Team. He said that Michael and Magic's conversation turned into a back and forth as to who was the best, and about playing one on one and all that stuff. Unsurprisingly, more and more stars heard what was happening and wanted a piece of that conversation. Again, that's completely understandable. You play in that league, you come up against one another, you've got some wins, some losses, and you want to be counted among the best. But as Rashad remembers, Chuck got put in his place by the legendary Larry Bird.
Mhm.
Now, if you've ever seen Barkley play, you know that he was a force of nature, an absolutely thrilling player who did things that many believed just weren't possible on the court. So it's not surprising that he wanted to be among the greats and wanted to be heard. After
Mm,
all, he was one of the best players in the '90s, an extremely tough era to
yeah.
play in.
Yeah.
He was in his late 20s back then and had played his entire
Wow.
career only in Philadelphia up until that point.
Wow.
And his greatest achievement so far was his insane performance at the 1991 All Star game,
Wow.
where he won the All Star MVP. That's not bad for an entire career. But when you're up against the all time greats, you've got to have a lot more to be part of those conversations. Which is why Larry Bird didn't waste any time in shutting Barkley up, there
Mm.
and then. He told him that he needs to win a championship to talk. And, well, as much as we know that Chuck likes to talk, there really
Yes,
wasn't
he
any
does.
response to that. Maybe if the Olympics had taken place in 1993, Barkley would have been treated with a bit more respect because he would go on to win the MVP the very next year.
Mm.
Unfortunately, Bird probably would have shut him up even then
Yes,
because
he would.
Chuck's one of the greatest players ever to not win a championship in their careers. Bird, on the other
Uh,
hand, well, the less said the
all right,
better.
guys. On that, I think the reason for Charles Barkley not getting a ring is because of MJ. That's the era that MJ and Charles Barkley were playing in, and after Bird, and a lot of players in the '90s they never went to the got their rings because of MJ. MJ shut all of them down, and I mean I was so sad because I mean looking back and learning about Charles, it was a good player. I don't know if he's a great player, but he was a good player, and it's sad that he never got a ring, not even one. That's just MJ is so selfish for
Could be
winning.
better, huh?
Stop winning, MJ.
The hick from the French Lick was also a pretty tremendous player. After all, he ruled the 80s alongside his good
He
friend and
did.
big time rival Magic Johnson. What probably made him the ruler of the roost was the fact that he was also a fantastic trash talker.
Mm,
And in conversations alone, you may get a seat on the table thanks to your achievements, but the loudest voice wins.
mm.
That isn't to say that Bird didn't have a really good case for being the best player there.
He
His
was.
career compares a little too well to Magic Johnson,
He
and
was.
up until the late 80s at least, the all time great talks were among three, maybe four players only. Bird was certainly one of them. A
Uh,
three-time NBA champion, a
yeah.
two-time NBA Finals
Yeah.
MVP, a three-time NBA MVP,
Uh,
and also a three-time NBA three-point contest champion, winning it all with pure disdain for the rest of the competition.
wow.
Few people have ever managed better resumes than that. So no
Wow.
wonder he was one of the loudest players on that table. And he even shut another superstar up, Patrick Ewing. Yeah, the former Knicks legend and future Hall of Famer, Patrick
I wouldn't
Ewing,
say he
was
was great.
also part of the Dream Team. But the first pick of the 1985.
Guys, I wouldn't think Patrick Ewing is a name that you would say, oh, he's a great. You know, he's one of the greats. He's a Hall of Famer, but not that great. But when I'm learning from you guys about Bird, is that he was, man. I didn't know anything before doing these videos and reactions about Bird. I didn't think Bird was anything. I'll be honest with you. I really didn't care much about Bird. And I'm being honest with you guys. And then watching these videos and learning about his career from you guys. Oh man, he's like, yo, he's up there, man. He's like top for me, he's top three, top four, top five, for the greatest. He's up there now. Before he wasn't even on the list of the greatest basketball players. Now he's up there, guys. He's definitely up there.
Draft had the same problem in terms of achievements as Chuck. No rings. And that's a huge
MJ.
problem if you try to talk and want to be counted among the very best players ever.
Yeah.
So Bird was quick to tell both of them that they don't get any say in this. They're really not comparing well with the other names there.
Mm.
That isn't to say they weren't absolutely fantastic players. They just weren't better than the all timers present there and then.
Yeah.
So, like I said, back to the discussions. It came down to who was the loudest in the room and who had the best credentials to go with his voice. Of course, leading the arguments was the Celtics legend Larry Bird, and as many players over the years experienced themselves. You can't shut him up because he really did have everything. However, one way of even shutting the great Kodak is having the credentials and the talent that even he fears.
Mm.
And that's something Michael Jordan definitely possessed.
Mm.
You know that famous saying, right? If you have to tell someone that you're the king, then you're really not the king. Because his airness didn't really have the credentials to match the likes of Magic Johnson or
Nah,
Larry
that
Bird,
time.
but he definitely did have the streets. He was a two-time NBA champion back then,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously was a great achievement in its own right. And he was also a three-time NBA MVP, winning two NBA Finals MVPs before he headlined the Dream Team of '92.
Mm.
Hindsight allows us to look back and realize just how great he is.
Mm.
But back then, it wasn't exactly an open and shut case. Bird and Johnson had definitely achieved a lot more in their careers. And sure, their era was more than over. But it wasn't like they couldn't have a say in it. It's like LeBron James sitting on a table with Giannis, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid and getting told that he isn't the leader of the pack right now.
Mm.
I know, it's not a great comparison because James's credentials are a lot better than Bird's. And
Hmm.
those three can't compare to what Jordan had managed up until that point or later either. But it's fair to say that Giannis is a better current player than LeBron, right? And
Uh,
that's where you realize how intelligent Bird really is.
Bird.
Because he wasn't just a trash talker, he's also a genius with an incredible IQ.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you get respected among peers and greats. Because he quickly realized this wasn't his era or Magic's, it was Michael Jordan's. Imagine LeBron telling Giannis that it's time for you to take over. That's basically what Bird said. We were then, he is now.
Mm.
And to understand this, the fact that MJ was in the middle of his first repeat is absolutely bonkers.
Mm.
Of course, we have the gift of hindsight, and we know he'd go on to become the greatest player of all time,
Mm.
winning four more rings and many more accolades over the best career anyone could wish for. But for Bird to understand this in the early 90s just shows what a great person and
Mm.
genius he was. As a result, the reins of the Dream Team
He
were
was a
handed over
genius,
to Michael
Bird.
Jordan. And let's be honest, no Bird or Magic is getting close to his airness, let
Mm.
alone the likes of Chuck or Ewing. It was all about respect, though.
Mm.
And that's what's made that team so great. MJ was offered co captaincy, but he deferred it to Bird and Johnson both.
Mm.
Barkley needed to be humble because that's the only way he would produce the performance that he did, becoming the scoring leader with 18 points as Team USA swept every team they came up against, with the closest winning margin being their 32-point win over Croatia for the gold medal. So, from the Dream Team's realization that the early
Yes.
90s were Michael Jordan's era, to crazy egos that
Yes.
resulted in some great stories, here's how Larry Bird put Charles Barkley in his place before getting shut up by his airness.
All right, guys. Um, that's it. No, but guys, I would I would definitely I like to, like I said before, thank you guys, and the videos that you guys requested from before. I'm getting to them. I'm doing a lot right now, and I'm getting to them. And about this video, it's just that I feel really sorry for Charles Barkley, guys. He man, he it's like Shaq just tear him down all the time. I mean, Shaq got those rings. He got 6 rings, right? No, it was 5 rings. Shaq got like 5 rings, and and it seemed like every great just when they talk about Barkley, it's just that he's not up there with them. It's just I feel sorry for him sometimes. I mean he's a good talker, and he's coming up right now, but oh man, it's hard sometimes seeing him like knowing what happened to him because of MJ, and MJ just shut him down, man. And also for Bird, just knowing how special MJ was at that time shows how great Bird's IQ is and his intelligence to see that this young guy, this young kid, he's gonna be something good. He's gonna be something special, and that's what's so special about Bird. Also, he didn't mind passing the ball on to somebody else when the time came. And I mean, it's amazing. He's an amazing guy. All right, guys. Thank you guys again, and I hope you guys have a good day. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.